For the longest time, I secretly wanted more. I often found myself shrinking to fit in, settling for what was comfortable, and even selling myself short. Once I finally accepted that we deserve success and we are blessed with the power to achieve it, I stopped playing small. I'm serious about building a life I love, and you should be too. I'm Denise Taylor of DeniseTaylor.live, and welcome to Embrace Your Power. I help women prioritize themselves, their success, and their happiness. Now, let's meet this week's achiever whose story will inspire you to embrace your power and go. Well, hello. I am so excited to be going live today. I have been looking forward to this moment when I could reach out and connect with all of you on my digital footprint. I have such an encouraging message that I want to share with you today. And so when you come in, I want you to go ahead and drop your name or drop where you're listening from, because we're going to have an exciting time as I unpack more about rewriting your career story and getting unstuck. So I just want to start off by saying I have been having so many great discovery calls recently. And so if you haven't yet taken advantage of the opportunity to get on a discovery call with me, here is a plug for you to do that now. And it is through those discovery calls that I was encouraged to actually move up faster. One of the programs that I have been working on that is going to help us get unstuck. I have been meeting with so many incredible women who have so many incredible experiences. And in fact, they hold so many incredible roles, titles, and jobs. But when I get on the call with them, it is not so much that they are interested in accelerating their success or interested in getting promoted as much as it is they are interested in making what I describe as a power move. They are interested in really getting to the point where they can rewrite their career story to be more in line with what they have a passion and desire for now. And if I could just give you a glimpse, just a very simple glimpse into how those calls are going, they usually start out with them saying something along this line. They say, I'm at a point in my life where I'm just not sure I want to do this anymore. They are saying that to me over and over and over again. And they may be using different words, but the sentiment is the same. They have reached a point where they are desiring some transition, where they are desiring to get unstuck, and they are ready to make a move into something that better aligns with where they are now, who they are now, and what's important to them now. And so, as this message kept coming up over and over again from these very well established, powerful women, I began to have the light bulb go on to say that we need to understand how to make the pivots and shifts so that we can rewrite our career stories in a way that resonates best with us. And so, what I have done is I've kind of put together something that is going to help you begin to make that shift and that pivot more effectively. So if you've been saying to yourself, I'm at a point in my life where I'm not sure I want to do this anymore, then I have help for you today. I am going to be giving you 3 things that you can do right now to begin the rewrite on your career story. If you're at a point where you feel like you're stuck in your current job, or you have a career goal that you want to achieve, but you don't have a clear plan, then today is going to help you, because I want to help you understand how to begin to rewrite your career story by taking some steps now. Now, one of the things I do want you to really begin to assess for yourself, if you are in this position, usually these types of feelings or thoughts are coming up for you when you feel stuck or when you feel like you don't know what to do next. You usually start to have frustration and dissatisfaction in whatever it is that you're doing. At one point in time in your career, you were thoroughly satisfied, you were thoroughly fulfilled by it. But now you desire something different and you're starting to feel unfulfilled. If you can relate to that, I want you to know that that's not a bad place to be. That's just a clear indication that there is a misalignment between what it is you're doing and what it is you desire. And when we can get those things back in alignment with one another, the fulfillment will absolutely return. So, one of the things that usually comes up when we start to feel stuck is we have this overwhelming sense of frustration, this overwhelming sense of dissatisfaction, and all of that happens to ripple into us feeling unmotivated. So if you're getting up every day and you're saying to yourself, I just don't want to do it, if you have lacked your motivation, if you're feeling frustrated and disappointed, today is going to help you, because I'm going to talk about things that you can begin doing right now that will help to shift and change the game for you. Another thing that we start to feel when we get into this pattern of feeling stuck is we begin to experience a bit of anxiety. And maybe some of that has trickled into sleepless nights for you. Maybe that uncertainty has made you begin to wonder about what the future actually holds. Not having a clear plan creates a sense of insecurity. We begin to feel unsettled. And that unsettled feeling makes us feel like we're stuck. And we begin to have these desperate thoughts about what do I need to do now, but we don't come to a good resolve. So if you're starting to feel like you're struggling about where to navigate next, chances are you are in a misalignment between what you're doing and what you desire, and it's making you feel overwhelmed. The third thing that usually trickles in when we begin to feel stuck is we start this analysis paralysis and we begin to procrastinate, which usually means we stop taking action. We don't have a plan. And because we don't have a plan, we allow delays to go on and on when we really should be centering our focus around how we're going to move forward. And so, if you have a sense of those things, of any of those things, if you're frustrated, if you're dissatisfied, if you are experiencing anxiety, if you are wrestling with uncertainty, if you feel like you're procrastinating, and if you feel like you're not taking action, then you're in the right place, because I'm going to share 3 specific things that will help you begin to rewrite your career story and get unstuck. So, the first thing that we can do to begin addressing all of those emotional elements and actually position ourselves to move forward is we have to start with self assessment so that we can get clarity. The rambling thoughts that are going on in your mind is because what used to be valuable and important to you has likely shifted. Your core values have likely evolved over time, and what used to be important and valuable to you may not be as important or valuable to you now. The reality is, you have changed. And change is not a bad thing. It's only a work against you when you refuse to allow your circumstances to change too. If you need something new, you have to begin to position yourself in that new environment so that you can begin to fit better. But this journey you're on, where you're feeling out of sorts, where you feel out of pocket, it requires you to start with self assessment first. And what I mean by self assessment is that you have to go back to identifying your core values. You have to go back to identifying your best strengths now. What used to be a strength for you may have evolved, and you may be stronger in other areas now because of that evolution. And you have to go back and evaluate your passions. So, the first step to getting unstuck is about that self assessment and that self evaluation. What's important to you now? What do you value now? What are your strengths now? And what are your passions now? The worst thing that happens for us is when we get misaligned and we continue doing things that serve the old version of who we are. We got to update the circumstances. We got to update the playing field so that we fit better with who we are now and where we are working, serving, being, and becoming. This self assessment process is about discovering who you are, and that clarity is going to help you rewrite the narrative. It's going to help you rewrite the story. It's going to help you feel more fulfilled because you will understand better who you are. Once you have that, then you can align your career goals with that version of you so that it feels right to you in who you are authentically. We use that word a lot these days, but it's really important when it comes to your career too. We use a lot when we're talking about who we are personally, but who you are personally is who shows up in the workplace. And so you've got to make sure that you're showing up authentically in a role that meets your today needs. So the first thing we have to do is a self-assessment, and that self-assessment is going to give you clarity. The second thing we have to do is really work on boosting our confidence, because all the ruminating that we do makes us feel powerless. For some reason, the ruminating makes us think we can't, makes us think we can no longer, makes us think we can't fit, makes us think we can't do it. So we have to boost our self-confidence so that we feel empowered to go after it again. One of the things that I love to talk about is how to really go after boosting who you are and knowing what you can do. If you keep that throttled high, if you keep your confidence levels throttled high, then you will be able to overcome the shifts and the pivots that are going to be necessary for you to make to get back in alignment with who you are now. So boosting your confidence is extremely important. And here's what that looks like. Boosting your confidence is about enhancing your self assurance. It's about making sure you feel assured in who you are. It's not about making excuses for your change. The reality is you have changed, and that just is what it is. But what we have to do is be assured in who we are now and allow ourselves to move forward instead of trying to make excuses about why what used to fulfill us and what used to work is no longer working anymore. So building up your confidence is going to make you more self-assured. The second thing we have to do is give articulation or voice to how we have changed. We have to honor the change that has happened within us, which means that we have to sharpen our communication skills. We have to be able to give voice to the change so that we can understand what our new expectations are in light of the self-assessment that was done. So you've got to give voice to who you are now. And then finally, the third thing that boosting your confidence is going to do for you is it's going to help you conquer any imposter syndrome that may be lurking within your mind. We have this overwhelming perspective that we don't fit, that we're not good enough, and that we can't do. And that just gets stronger when we find ourselves feeling stuck or out of balance. And so we got to check it with building our confidence. A confident mindset is absolutely essential when it comes to going after your new dream, your new career goals, or getting unstuck. So, the first thing that we talked about is the need to do a self assessment. The second thing that we talked about is the need to build your confidence, something that is going to fuel you and allow you to move forward. And then finally, the third thing that you can begin to do now is to develop a clear and actionable plan. The only way to see yourself clear is to understand what steps you need to take to get out of it. It's that clear plan towards your goals that is going to help you understand how to move forward. Now, this is the struggle point. Because oftentimes, developing the clear plan, you need insight, you need experience, and you need wisdom to help you with that. As you are ruminating, as you are spiraling, as you are trying to figure out how to navigate that, I am going to say to you, you need a plan, but it's very likely that you're going to need help formulating the plan. This is the power of a coaching relationship, because a coaching relationship is going to bring to the table experience and insight to help you navigate that course. When you develop the plan, you will have specific objectives of what it is that you want to achieve to get back in alignment with who you are. You'll have specific steps that you should take in order to achieve the objectives. And then finally, you should have a specific timeline. So the three things that you can do is start the self-assessment. Why am I spiraling? What's changed about my values? What's changed about my strengths? What's changed about my passions? The second thing is to boost your confidence. And the third thing is to create a plan. Now, if you're steady enough to be able to pull your plan together, great. But if you're not, the best move that you can make is to get help. I say it all the time. We have this crazy notion that getting help makes us weak. But getting help does not make you weak. Actually, getting help is one of the wisest things that you can do, because help is leverage to collapse time for you. You get there faster as a result of getting help. Now, I started off by saying how I'm having these incredible conversations with powerful women who are saying to me that they are at a point in their life where they know they don't want to do what they've been doing previously anymore. And this is a really big deal. As you are at this point, the worst thing that you can do is ignore what you're sensing. If you force yourself to continue to show up, being, doing, having, and achieving in a space that does not connect or radiate or resonate, with you anymore, then you are essentially shrinking. You're essentially playing small. And worst of all, you are discrediting yourself. If you sense that a move is necessary, you owe it to yourself to get back to a point where satisfaction and fulfillment is your experience. That misalignment has thrown everything off, but getting back in line gets you back to a place where you thrive. So the move that you likely need to make is one that begins with prioritizing yourself. And I talk about this a lot. You got to get back to prioritizing you. You got to get to the point where you're willing to make a decision with you in mind for your benefit. Yes, everything else is important, but you're important too. You deserve to be in proper alignment so that you can experience satisfaction and fulfillment that lights you up from the inside. And so, what I want to offer to you today is this: there is an opportunity to stop the spiral. There is an opportunity to get yourself settled in a place where you're back to being effective, where you're back to making a difference, where you're back to feeling good. If you're saying to yourself, I'm at a point in my life where, then that is an indication that change is necessary. You have to prioritize and decide that you're worth the change. Now, change is hard. I know firsthand that change is hard. But hard things are things that we're able to do, especially when we bring the right support to the table to help us. So, my response was this: I kept hearing all of these incredible women say to me that they felt like they needed to shift or make a move. They were desperately crying out for help on how to assess what needed to be done. They were crying out for help on how to steady all the fears that they were starting to be inundated with, and they needed a plan. So I was working on a program that I intended to launch at the beginning of the year, but I had so many calls around this that I pulled it up to launch it now. One of the things I know to be true is where you finish a year is where you start. And so I've been talking a lot lately about finishing strong. When you can finish your year off strong, you set yourself up for future success. And so I am so excited to offer my program Power Move. Now, Power Move is specifically curated for women who are ambitious and ready to embrace their full potential. They also are ready to make a confident career transition. Now, let me say what I mean by that. A career transition doesn't necessarily mean you're quitting your job. A career transition can mean you are making an internal move. It can mean you're seizing an external opportunity, or you're embarking on an entrepreneurial adventure. You just know that you can't do what you've been doing anymore because the misalignment just doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. So you have to begin to figure out how to make a transition to move forward. And so Power Moves is a program that I put together, leveraging all the moves I've made. I've changed jobs. I've relocated to new city. I've gone to new companies. I've launched businesses. I've done all of that. So jumpstarting success is a sweet spot. I know how to help you break through that. But if you're at a point very specifically where you sense, I need to make a move, I need to make a pivot, I need to make a transition, then this program is exactly the one you've been waiting for. I am absolutely about accelerating your success. I am absolutely about jump starting you to where it is you want to be. But I do know if you don't get help, you are very likely to shrink, settle, and play small. Life is moving forward. We don't have time for you to play small. We need to have our faces represented in places where we can begin to make an impact and a difference. We need you to lead the way. So settling is not going to bring that to pass. Power Moves is for you if you're ready to make that pivot. One of the end results of this program is a pivot plan. It's a roadmap that's going to help you begin to move forward in rewriting your career story. Getting unstuck takes strategy. The worst thing we can do is guess our way at it. You need to take advantage of opportunities that's going to help you in the most effective way. And forging a coaching relationship is one of the best strategies ever because you get to leverage the insight, the wisdom, and the experience that will help you collapse time and go faster. So here's the deal. And I'm really excited about it because I know this is going to make a difference to all of the women I've been meeting with who are at a point in their life. This program is now available, and I am accepting people to enroll in it. It is set up to help fast pass your success and get you a roadmap plan on how to move forward out of the spiral that you feel from the disconnect that you're experiencing. And so here's the deal, and you can drop your questions in the comments there if you have any, but here's the deal. Working with me begins with a discovery call, and I do that very intentionally. It's not because I'm trying to sell you on anything. I want to make sure that this program is actually going to solve your problem. The worst thing we could do is check a list or check a box from a web page and get in the program and realize it's not the answer. My job as a career success coach is to make sure success is going to be at the end of the journey. So I'm very intentional about a discovery call, and I only offer as a next step working with me if I believe my programs are going to help you get the results that you tell me you desire. So a discovery call is pretty simple. You access my calendar at www.callwithdenise.live. When you go there, my calendar is going to open up. You're going to pick a date and time that works for you to be able to talk with me. On that call, I'm just going to ask you a series of questions so that I can make sure that I can support you, whether it's with power moves, power leader, power play. Lord knows I've got enough programs to help you get out of the starting blocks and jumpstart your success. So depending on what I am able to triage from what you're sharing with me, I will suggest your best next step, which may or may not include my programs. When I share that with you, you're going to have an overwhelming sense of clarity about what you can do now. You're going to know the moves that you need to take to support moving forward with what it is that you want to achieve. I will tell you, I am so excited about Power Move because it has 4 distinct pillars. We're going after clarity and strength assessment. We're going after empowerment boosting with your confidence. We're developing a pivot plan that is going to help be a roadmap for how you move forward. And we're going to really double down on being resilient and taking care of yourself in the process. That's the pillars that are going to help you transition and pivot powerfully. And so, if you know that you are at a point in your life where you need to take action, then I want to invite you to book a call with me. The call is absolutely free, and you can access my calendar at www.callwithdenise.live. And when you access my calendar there, you'll pick a time and I will call you on the phone because that is the easiest. On the phone call, I'll ask you a few questions and then I'll make my professional recommendation. You're going to talk to me, not my representatives, not my team. It's going to be me who gives you a call so that I can make sure this program is the right answer for you. Rewriting your career story is something that you should really take seriously. It is your pathway to getting unstuck. Now, I will tell you one of the things I'm really most excited about with the launch of the Career Success Academy is that our programs qualify for company funding. Your company has training dollars set aside for your benefit. And you can ask me how to go and have a conversation about how your company might be able to pay for you to work with me. So depending on where you work, there's dollars that are earmarked for training, for conferences, and things of the like. If your professional development plan has layered into it things that we can support you with, we would love to talk about how to tap into that funding. So I throw that out there because I'm really excited about the framework that's been put in place with the Career Success Academy. But everything still begins with a discovery call. So if you're thinking about it, if you know you're at the point where something needs to be done, I want to invite you to book a call with me. And it's real easy. Just go to www.callwithdenise.live. Now, I'm really excited that I had a chance to check in today and share this, like this. If you have a friend or someone in your network that can benefit from this, be your sister's keeper and let her know what's going on. Thank you. Have a good day. Well, that's it, beautiful. Thank you for tuning in. Don't ever forget that you are truly blessed with life, love, and all the happiness your heart can hold. Be relentless in building a life you love without apology. I'm Denise Taylor, and you can always find me in our free Facebook community. It's Embrace Your Power. Easy to find. Now be sure to rate and review this podcast and share it with a friend. And make sure you subscribe so that we can stay connected each week. And remember, God has not given us a spirit of fear. He gave us power. So be sure to always embrace your power and go.